All right, so we're going to go ahead and utilize S3 object locking. We have retention holds and legal holds. And retention holds has two different modes, the governance and other mode being compliance. And so remember that when we get to the compliance mode, we're not going to be able to remove that. So if you decide that you don't want to do it, I'm going to warn you and say, hey, don't do this, just watch along so that you can get the experience without having to deal with having this file you're never going to be able to get rid of. So what we'll do is go over to the AWS examples repo as per usual. And in here, I'm going to create a new folder. This one is going to be object locks. And I'll just create a README. Sometimes I like creating bash scripts. Sometimes I just like creating the READMEs. And we're going to create a new folder. So create a folder. And this is going to be pretty straightforward. We'll just say AWS S3 make bucket S3:// this will be object lock fun, and we'll say AB and put some numbers here. So we'll go ahead and do that. I also want to point out that we should be in our metadata directory here, so we'll type that. Let's see how we can turn on object locking. So I'm in the AWS CLI here. I'm looking up S3 API. I don't think it's a separate command. I feel like it is something we do when we upload the file. I'm just kind of trying to remember what it is, because when we put an object, we can set the object locking mode. So let's go look at when we create that bucket there, because we didn't specify any option, right? So we'll say up, let's just look at bucket here, because it's bucket configuration I'm interested in. Put bucket, configuration. Yeah, I'm not sure. So let's go over to the bucket itself. And I'm just checking. I don't think we have to turn on a functionality on the bucket. Maybe all we have to do, oh, it's down here. It is. That's what I thought. Because I think this globally turns it on for everything. So I did not click static website hosting. So I wanted to have object lock here. And so this is what I want to enable. So I thought there'd be like a configuration option here. Configuration. To update is configuration. Here it is, get object lock configuration. So there must be like a put object lock configuration. That's what I wanted. So here, I think this is where we're going to be able to set it. So I can just go ahead and copy this. We'll just say turn on object locking. And so we have AWS S3 API, put object lock configuration, object enabled, and then there's like a rule for default retention. I don't want to actually set any kind of default rule here, especially not for compliance. I'm going to switch this over to governance. Governance, because that seems a bit scary to me. I don't know if it'll let us do this, but I'm going to select 1 day. Governance. Okay, so that's set to governance. And what we'll do is we'll copy this command, and we need to specify our bucket. So this is our bucket up here. And we'll go ahead and we'll copy this, and we'll paste this, and we'll hit enter. Versioning must be enabled. So yeah, we have to have versioning turned on. We know how to do that. We've done that before. So we'll go here and click back. We'll go back to S3 API. And we'll look for versioning. Put bucket versioning. Examples. And that's all we want here. So we'll go back. Turn on versioning. And we'll grab this part here. We'll paste that there. We'll copy this, hit enter. And so bucket versioning is now turned on. So we should be able to do this. I'm really hoping that we can do governance 1 day. I'm not sure what the minimum is. XML you provided was not well formatted. Well, It's not XML, but I guess that's good to know that we can provide it there. What we're trying to do is supply JSON. So I'm going to use the shorthand because shorthand is going to give us less problems. So I think we can do it this way. Where it kind of becomes problematic is when we have this interior here like this, eh? So I think this will work, but if it doesn't, that's totally fine. We could also just supply a JSON file, which might be a less of an issue. But I want to see if this works first. So this one, that one, and we don't need that end one. So I'm hoping that we can do this as a shorthand. It doesn't look like it likes it. It doesn't. So what I'm going to do is just create a new file here. Again, it could be JSON or whatever. So let's just say default JSON. That could be XML as well. And I'm just going to undo this a bit so that I don't have to do so much work to rewrite that. And so we'll cut this out, paste it here. Not what I wanted, but that's okay. Did I actually get the code I wanted? No, that's the old stuff. We'll go ahead and say cut. And then we will select all of this and we will paste. And now what we'll do is just specify the file. So we'll say default JSON. I don't know if we have to put the file protocol from there. It's just kind of a habit to do that. We'll go back over here. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue. I'm just going to leave it like this, because I don't have to give it its absolute path. And so I think this should give it less trouble. Yeah, I think that's fine. We don't need this here, and we don't need that there. And let's put 1 day. I think we have to have at least 1 day here. And let's see if it'll take this instead. And it still doesn't like it. Yeah, because that's... All right, we'll try this instead. Okay, we'll try this again. And I'm going to try to use auto-completion. I thought I was going to open up and tell us stuff there, but it isn't. So sometimes when you copy-paste commands, it just doesn't work exactly the same way because there's some kind of weird thing in the way. So that's why you'll see me do this a lot, where I'll wrap these like this. It's either that or maybe we're not supposed to specify the bucket that way, but I'm pretty sure we copy-pasted this, so it should just work. And I'm going to go ahead and just make this a single line. This is going to just reduce any kind of misconfigurations if it's just like some weird line thing. We'll go hit enter. Still doesn't like it. Oh my goodness. I'm going to just quit this here. I'm going to drag the whole file path in here, and I'll copy this and place it in here as such. Let's see if it likes this better. We might also have a separate flag for just specifying this. Sometimes that happens, eh? Where it's like it wants that to be the inline JSON. No, so we'll go look this up then. It's not being nice to us here today. And we'll look at the flags. I mean, this is what we have. Days, years, yeah. I don't know what else it wants. We're literally providing it the same way as it has provided it to us. Oh, okay. Maybe we can't supply a file here. Sometimes these flags don't let you do that, eh? Sometimes they're a pain like that. So what I'll do is I'm going to copy this again, even though we didn't do anything wrong here. I'm going to change this to governance. I'm going to just take out the guesswork. I'm just going to copy this here. I'm going to change this to 1 day, if that's even allowed. That could be our problem, by the way, if we're setting a value it doesn't like. We'll copy this. We'll paste this here. We'll attempt this. We'll paste it and we'll hit enter. I don't know what it was. Maybe we're missing this one on the end here, but it's working now, so who cares, right? We're going to make our way over here and check and look at the object locking. So we have metadata fun, and did we already upload a file? Oh, no, that's from our last bucket, sorry. And yeah, so we're in here now. And we'll go over to object locking. Notes in here somewhere. Management. It must be properties. So it says enabled governance 1 day. So we'll go here. And yeah, maybe 1 is the lowest we can provide here. It kind of looks like we have to provide a value, but now we have governance set up. So if we were to upload a file, it's automatically going to have this mode governance, right? So let's go and bring a file over there. So we'll create a new file. So say new file. And I'm going to say echo, this is the gov. And we'll say gov.txt. And I'm going to make sure I'm in the right folder, object locks. We'll say ls. And let's go take a look here. So I'm going to say AWS S3 copy gov.txt to here. Hit enter. That file has now been uploaded. And if we go back over to here, the question is, can we delete that file? So there are additional permissions you need to have that. And I mean, as the type of user we are, we should have full permissions to do whatever the heck we want, right? So it's possible the file's in there and that we can still delete it, but we really shouldn't be able to unless we're a different user. So let's take a look at what is set for this. Legal hold is disabled, but notice retention's on here. It says retain until December 15th, so that's tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to delete this. So notice as I look at this file, we do have a delete command. I'm going to do it through the CLI because I kind of prefer to do that. AWS S3 remove file, and we're going to say this is the path, gov.txt. Can we delete it? And so we were able to delete that file. And the reason why, again, is because we have permission to do so. We were the one that created it. I think it's if other people want to try to delete it. So the only way we're going to be able to test this out is to really have another user. So we'll go back over here. We'll give it a refresh. The object is gone. But I guess the other thing is that there's versioning on. So is the file actually gone because we turned on S3 versioning? That might actually... we might actually be mistaken to think that the file is actually gone. So I'm going to go ahead and type in AWS S3 API. We'll just say, just make sure we put these other commands in here. I want to put this in here. Delete the file. We'll say AWS S3 API list object versions. And then we will supply the bucket here. And then we'll say the key here. And is truncated. Oh, maybe it's get object version. Sorry. That's what I want. I can't remember what the command is, so we'll go back here and take a look. Versions. List object versions. I could have swore that's what we did. That is what we did. And we're kind of getting different information. This is different. We don't normally see this, right? Like when we work with versioning, we'll see the actual version information. So yeah, what the heck are we looking at? There's a key marker. Okay, give me a second. So yeah, on reposts here, you know, they're saying that you can delete the objects, but they're still going to stick around, and you need to specify its version. And so that's why we came here and we're trying to get the version information, but as you can see, it's not showing the usual thing that we see, because we've done this before and it would show versions and delete markers, and all we're seeing is version ID marker. So I am a little bit confused as to what is going on here, because it's not the normal thing. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're looking at here. Like, even for theirs, they show something different. Now, I wonder if we did the bypass governance retention, if it would actually permanently delete it. But again, this one specified the version ID. What if we add another version? Let's see what happens if we do that. That might make more sense. So this is the gov2. And we'll say echo. And then we'll try this again. Okay, and now we will go up and we will just go look at more versions. And it's not listing out object versions. I'm really confused as to why, because object versioning is turned on. All right, let me go investigate. Okay, I think the reason I was confused was that we were supplying every single time with it the key. And I don't think we ever actually did that once before. We always maybe supplied it with the bucket. At least that's what I think is happening. So maybe that was just my confusion there, because I was using the CLI a little bit differently than usual. But we do have our delete markers and we can see the objects are there. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually delete the object now. So we will attempt to delete the version file. We'll see if we can delete that specific version. So we'll go here, and this is the new one we pushed. And so we'll specify the version ID. There's a period in there that can really mess up the CLI. So that's especially where we're going to want to do equals on that. We have remove here, but we'll have to do delete object bucket. I don't know if the version ID flag is on the remove. It could be. I don't remember. So I'll just do it the way I definitely know it will work. There we go. Let's give this a try here. I'll have to make sure this is S3 API. Now, we should have permissions to do deletion, but we'll see. It doesn't like something here. We have double bucket in here. So just take that out. We'll try this again. Access denied. So it's not letting us do it because we do not have permission to do so. It seems like we'll need an additional flag. Notice it has bypass governance retention flag. Let's go ahead and, well, before we do that, let's just see if it shows up here in the documentation. And it does. So let's just put that flag on and see if we can delete it. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and paste it in now. So notice that we're able to delete those objects there. So we'll go back here. I'm just gonna go and list the objects, and I wanna get rid of all of its versions if it's even possible. And so we have that version. I wanna get rid of this version. Paste that in here. And I'm gonna see if there's still delete markers. We still have a delete marker. I'm not sure if we're allowed to delete that. Let's go find out. Can we delete a delete marker? Apparently we can. Okay, great. So we're able to clear out that object completely. And now it 100% does not exist. So that is governance. Compliance is going to be really straightforward. It's just going to be where we change it to use governance mode, or sorry, compliance mode. And to do that, all we got to do, by the way, don't do this if you don't want to deal with the files, but apparently we can have it for around 1 day. So it's not so much of a risk that I thought originally when I warned you earlier on in the video at the start, okay? So use compliance mode for S3 object. So we want to do AWS S3 put, maybe we already have this here, put object somewhere. Where is it? Oh, we copied it this way. So we'll have to use AWS S3 API because I don't know if it'll allow us to put the object lock mode flag on there. We'll say put object bucket, and then we'll grab our bucket and our key here. And did not copy how I wanted it to. Right click copy, right click paste. And we want to supply its body. So we'll say body gov.txt. This will actually be compliance. So we know what it's for. Okay, we are the Borg. If you like Star Trek, you'll know the reference. And we need to have an object lock mode. And so this time it'll be compliance. And then we need to set an object lock retain date. Let's see what options we actually have for this. Maybe there's an easier way to set it. I think you have to set a date though. Object. Yeah, it's date until. Not my favorite way because I don't like really providing timestamps, but we can absolutely do that. So we'll say object lock retain, whoops. Object lock retain until date. And then we will just say something like today, I mean, you choose what works for you. Obviously do the next day, but I'm just going to go ahead and do 2023, 12/15, because today is the 14th for me. And I'm going to put T00:00:00 Z. Actually, I'll add one extra day because of time zones. I don't know what time zone this thing is. So this will actually hold for me for a couple of days. Assuming I got the format right, then this should be good. This format is some kind of timestamp, so it's a pretty standard timestamp. I just don't know what its proper term is. And so it's apparently created that object, and it's going to be compliant till then. Thank goodness I didn't put 2024 in there. We'll go back over to here, and I'm going to go and take a look at object lock. And we have that file. Let's take a look here. Did I call it gov? Oh, I did. Whatever, that's fine. And notice it'll have retention until tomorrow. So that's a good thing I did 16 because the time zone it ended up being the 15th, which is actually tomorrow. So I should not be able to delete this file. So what I'll do, try and delete specific version. Because we know we can delete versions, right? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. What happens if we try to delete the version? Okay. Now let's see if we can delete the S3 API list object versions, the version bucket. And so we'll grab this version ID here and we'll try to delete it. Okay, we'll hit Q, we'll hit enter. Of course, there is no bypass governance retention. You can't pass that. That's not going to do anything. And so it cannot be deleted. So we'll just have to wait a few days. Like, don't worry, you're not going to wait with me here. That's all right. And so that's the two types of retention holds. Let's take a look at legal holds. This should be a lot straightforward. All we have to do is put legal hold status on, and that's about it. So we'll create a new file. We'll say touch legal.txt, and let's go upload that file. So we'll say AWS S3 API. So just new file, touch legal.txt, and we want to upload this. So this is AWS S3 API, put object. So first we need to upload it. I'll just upload it the normal way. So let's say CP, we'll grab the bucket here, S3://. I hate when it does that, when it copies all of it by accident. And this one will be legal.txt. So that will upload the file there. And to put a legal hold on it, we'll have to apply S3 API put object legal hold. And we'll specify the bucket. And we'll specify the key. And we'll say that the legal hold is now status as on. Okay. And we'll go ahead and apply that. The legal hold is now on. Let's go take a look at the bucket itself. And so we have legal here. Let's click into it. And it has object lock hold on. So it says prevents object from being deleted or overwritten until the hold is explicitly removed. So probably just like the other ones, we can delete it, but it's not actually deleted. It's just creating a deletion marker. So we'll go ahead and type in AWS S3 remove, and we'll see if we can remove it. So it looks like it has been removed, but it actually hasn't, because we do AWS S3 API, and we say list, or not, or list version objects, and then we supply the bucket. We can, didn't like that. AWS S3 API, object versions, object versions. Sometimes that's frustrating, so I'm going to go ahead here. I'm just going to just copy some of these commands and make our lives a little bit easier. We've typed this so many darn times, there's no reason for us to keep repeating ourselves. If I can find it in here. No, I'm just going to search for it. Versions. Whoops. Versions. No, I guess I'll just have to type it by hand. AWS S3 API get object versions bucket, and then we'll grab this name here and we'll try this. What does it want? Is it list? Maybe it's list. List object versions. There we go. And so we're looking for the legal one. So here is its version ID. So we'll go ahead and try to attempt to delete this. And we will need to take its version. We'll cut it. Notice there's periods in it, so you really want to wrap this in double equals here. And this is called legal.txt. It should not let us delete it, because there's a legal hold on the object. So what we'll do is we'll turn the legal hold off. Okay. When calling the put object legal hold operation, specified method is not allowed against the resource. So it's not as easy as we think to turn it off. So turning off legal hold AWS. I don't want a batch operation. I just want to turn it off. S3 put object legal hold permissions required to your IAM role or to remove the legal hold object. So I guess my question is, do I already have that? Because I'm an admin, right? This person is an admin, so they should have full access. I'm not sure who this is. Let's take a look. AWS S3 get caller identity. So this is AWS examples. And I would think that they would have that permission already, unless it's something you have to additionally add. So what I'll do is I'll go over to IAM, and maybe we'll just add that in as a sanity check and see if that's what it wants. So we'll go over to AWS examples. I'm going to go ahead and add permissions. And we're going to attach a policy directly. I want to create one, actually. I just want to create one in line. So we'll go here and say policy. Maybe they already have one for legal holds. Let's go find out. Legal holds? No. So I'll go here and just say S3. And we'll say legal, put and get. And we'll just give it for everything. For all. We'll say next. Get legal, or like control legal holds. Get and put for legal holds. Because maybe we don't need to have it in order to set it initially, but to take it off, we might need it. So I'm going to go over to users. I'm going to go over to AWS examples. We're going to go and add permissions. And, oh, you know, we could have done an inline permission. Well, whatever. We created it anyway. I forgot. That's fine. We'll go ahead and try this. And so now we've attached the policy. These are usually pretty darn fast, so should instantly work. So what I'm thinking is that maybe it's not called off. The specified method is not allowed against the source. So I must be just providing the wrong thing, and we already have the permissions, but it's good to show how to add those permissions there. So I'm going to go over to put object. It says off. So what does it want? Status off. Let's check this again. This one's a little bit different. There's like a hyphen in it. Are we missing something? Notice that this shows it like this. What if I put that in here like that? Object lock legal hold status. Oh, but that's on the put object, right? Okay, but this is on put legal hold. Sorry. So we're on the wrong CLI command here. And we'll go over to S3 API. And then we'll make our way all the way down here. And I'm looking for that legal hold option. Off. It says off. So it should just work if we set it to off, right? Status equals off. Yeah, that's what we did. We'll go back here. When calling the put object legal hold operation, the specified method is not allowed against the resource. Why not? Maybe the reason why is that we have a delete marker. And so maybe we have to specify the version. Is that a thing? Version ID. Okay, so maybe that's our issue. So what I'll do here is go version ID. And we'll just specify it. And maybe that was our problem. Aha! So now the question is the delete marker still there? And I'm looking for it. I mean, we turned it off, right? So the legal hold is off. I guess the question is, can we delete the delete markers now? So like, could I delete this delete marker, or does this have a legal hold? So I don't know, but I'm gonna just apply to this one as well. So this will be for the delete marker. I just have a feeling that I have to do this. So go ahead and try this out. Enter. Does not specify a specific version. Well, it does, but maybe the delete marker, it's not required. So instead of this, let's go ahead and try to delete the object now. So I'm going to go here, and that's a specific version. We'll try to delete that. Oops. Clear. We'll paste that in. Access denied. Why not? We turned it off. So go back over to here. And we have this one here. And we turned the legal hold off on that object, right? Let me try this again. So no error there. And we'll list this again. And then we have this one. We'll try this again. I might have just copied it wrong. I don't know. And we'll close that out. We'll try this one more time. Hit enter. Okay, so the version, we're able to delete the object version, which is fine. Let's try this one again. Access denied. Access denied. Why? We have permission. Give me a second, okay? Oh, you know why we can't delete it? I was just thinking about this, is that because we still have governance turned on because we have object locking, right? That's the reason why. So we need that flag from before that we were using. Call it like governance or something. Here it is, bypass governance retention. And then we'll put that there. And that's probably the reason why it wasn't allowing us to get rid of it. There we go. Okay, so some caveats when they're both kind of turned on, so that's kind of interesting. I can't really get rid of what we have there right now. I don't even think we can turn off object locking. I think once it's on, you don't turn it off, right? At least that's what I think. Well, let's go find out. Or at least probably we can't turn off if any objects are locked. But let's go ahead and take a look and test that theory, because I could be wrong here. It's so hard to remember everything, so it's just how it is. And we'll go into here, and we will go into properties, and we will look for object locking. Enabled, etc. Let's see if we can disable it. Once S3 object lock is enabled, you cannot disable object lock or suspend versioning for this bucket. We'll save it. So all we can do is turn off the default option. So now it's not going to set governance or compliance, but we cannot turn off object locking. So I imagine that once we are able to get rid of all the files, then we can delete the bucket. That's not going to happen until tomorrow. If you follow through, you'll have to delete that bucket on your own time. But yeah, we covered object locking. So hopefully that was super fun. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.